I don't know, fam. It's something sad about being almost 60 years old, being on a stage, performing songs, talking about things you did in your 20s and 30s. What's even more sad is being a billionaire with a fine wife, rapping on stage about what you did in your 20s and 30s, beefing with a guy half your age, and the best story you could come up with to validate your toughness is a knife stabbing event that happened between you and Lance Rivera. If I really beef with a rapper, I'm going to bring out all of the material I can use against him. But they never do that with each other. Why? Because they're all controlled by masonry. And masonry is controlled by the tiny hats. And that tiny hat's been controlled by people who touch children and sell children. So they tell them they can't go against their rituals. Why would you shame another Mason based on rituals? Why wouldn't Jay, in this little freestyle he did, why didn't he bring up the fact that Drake liked to paint his nails? Why didn't he bring up him doing duck lips in his selfies? Why didn't he go after the fact he was body sculpting? Why did he go after the fact that he has a baby mama that did porn? Especially when Drake has that lyric, if I had a baby mama, she'd probably be richer than a lot of you. I think Jay is more rich than his baby mama. Why would he go with that? I mean, it was so much material out there, but the reason why they don't touch it, because they're not allowed to expose the rituals that they do with each other. It's the same thing with Kendrick Lamar. He wore a dress. He tried to cover it up by wearing pants underneath, but he wore a dress or a skirt on the New York Times. I think it was a New York Times or New York something. It was a New York magazine or something like that. Him and another cat was on the front cover, and he was wearing a skirt. Nobody mentioned that. They all mentioned like, oh, Jake was a pedophile and all that. But if you look at the Masonic rituals and how they do boy bride rituals, they all are culpable in this type of behavior. If you just look it up. Go on YouTube and look up Masonic boy bride ritual. Just because these Negroes act tough and think they are tough, got nothing to do with reality. They wanted to sell this beef because they know now rap ain't real rap no more. They know you're so unrelative to the lifestyle that these people live. They know you're not getting yachts and sitting on the seas across islands. They know you're not party hopping off continents. They know you're not affording Birkin bags and Louboutin shoes for your woman. They know you're not doing that. And for the young cats, their music is basically drinking and getting drunk, drugs, sleeping with each other's baby mama, and switching up their ops. That's it. Because they know they can't do yachts, mansions, trips across seas, and raps anymore because they don't have that money to live that lifestyle. Ever since they went to streaming and not pushing physical units, it's been over for music, especially hip-hop, for a while. Streaming, it does nothing. It's nothing. It's a fairy tale. The days of hip-hop, when they were actually pushing units, they didn't even want rappers to beef because they wanted to make money. And at the time when rappers were doing $1 million in the first week or $1 million in the second week, they didn't want any rapper. They didn't want any beef because it would mess up the commercial value of making money. Now that it became streaming, now everybody's a gossiper. That's all they're doing. They're just gossiping on an instrumental. And so you Negroes who are so prone to gossip.
What's up? It's the Monster Man, man. This guy goes crazy and he goes up Jay-Z. Everyone know that Jay-Z is a sellout and he's running a pedophile ring. All of these billionaires know what was going on in this industry. So Jay-Z be singing in his raps and be singing all type of whack lyrics and be telling the black community what to do. But we're not working with what Jigga Man got to say. We ain't jacking that style. Ain't no one listening to Reasonable Doubt. That ninja need to get out of here. He's pushing 60. You need to leave this shit alone and give the young generation a chance to groom and have what they need to have in life. So So Jay-Z want to control the narrative. He want to control what is going on in hip-hop. That's why he got the Super Bowl, so that he can pick who he want to perform. So I understand that Drake is going at Jay-Z at the moment, and Jay-Z answering all of the raps in his freestyles. So I understand that a lot of people are saying that Jay-Z is trying to paint this narrative that beef is not good for the culture, and you're the one coming on stage disrespecting kids. So I don't understand what the Jigga Man is really on, but at this point, Jigga Man is trying everything to control the narrative and what is going on. He want the white people to believe that he still got control of the black power structure. So a lot of people are saying that Jay-Z is a sellout. Jay-Z is working for the feds because he and Desiree Perez own Roc Nation, and she's a known rat. She's a rat for a long time, and people been saying that Jay-Z can't go back to Marcy because he's a snitch. So I don't know what is really going on with the Jigga Man, but right now I think the jig is up. I think Drake is right when he said that shit. These ninjas are old. You need to leave the culture alone, man. You can't have all of this power and all of the control. This will land you in jail, just like what they did to Diddy. So a lot of people are saying that Jay-Z is gonna be next. He's gonna be the next black billionaire to go to jail, just like R. Kelly and Diddy. So all of this shit that is going on in this industry, he's in the Epstein files. He's trying to cover his tracks, but this ninja been doing crimes for so long and been messing around with young girls. He's known for doing this type of stuff, man. He got with Beyonce when she was about 16. He got with Alia when she was 14 years old, and you was a grown man. So I don't know what type of energy you're trying to push, but all of those shit that you did in your past, it's gonna come back and haunt you. So when they're saying that Jay-Z and Diddy sexual assaulted a 13-year-old female at the VMA after party, I believe that shit, man. I believe that he could have did that shit, because these ninjas are known for being predators. They like to do this type of stuff, man. They take drugs, they get high, and do stupid shit just because they got power. But Jigga Man, he needs to be cancelled. I need this ninja to be gone out of this industry so bad. He got so much control, and we don't need that type of narrative no more. He's a sellout, but it is what it is, man. It's the most of mine. Have a blessed day.
After working 9 to 5, spend your time going through people's lyrics and coming on your social media platforms, getting excited about what you know about what this rapper said about this rapper. They know that's how they make their money now. Because of these 360 deals, they want all of it. They need to maximize the drama. This is why they have Drink Champs. This is why they have Mace and Cameron. These rappers almost in their 60s are doing basically Negro grandmas on The View type behavior. It's just gossip. That's all it is gossip. Even 50 Cent, he's a grown man, almost in his 60s. And the best we know of him right now is not that he's tough, not that he's a gangster, but that he makes memes and gossiping about who sleep with who. And he's been infatuated about where Sean Combs been sticking his business, either in his baby mama or these artists that he signs. That's how pathetic these old Negroes are in the hip hop game. It's sad. It's like they don't know how to put out new music because they're so out of touch with the young generation. So the best they can do is be memes and telling their gossip stories about who did what and who did this back in like the early 80s, the early 80s to like mid 2000s. These dudes have never grown up, and we think that shit's cute. We laugh and joke and pass their material around, but it does nothing for us as a community, and it has never done anything for us. Because when the tiny hats tell them to get on their knees and suck it off, they get on their knees and suck it off. This is what DMX came out about. When DMX was hard pressed on exposing the gayness in hip hop, that's what he really wanted to say, but he couldn't put a name to it. Or if he knew the name, he wasn't allowed to say it because it probably meant an ultimate death penalty. Man, it's gone, y'all. Y'all need to just let that go. Y'all need to let all these old school hip hop heads go. All of them go. They have never done anything for our community except make us go at each other and then make up some fictional enemy that they're going against when really their enemy are us. You ever notice that? All their hip hop lyrics, all their music are against us or against other black folk. It ain't never against the system. It's never against the people who control hip hop or hip hop industry. Not since the days of Michael Jackson. There has never been a real hip hop head that gone against music execs, the music industry, and those who control it. Only Michael Jackson been able to do that. All the rest of these Negroes are scared. And as light in the pants or light in the loafers Michael Jackson was, he had more heart than all these hip hop dudes combined. Go look up the interview when Old Dirty Bastard and Method Man, when they were asked about the future of hip hop or something like that, and ODB said, we gotta do what we do. They fooling us. ODB went hard about trying to expose, and Method Man put his head down as if he was ashamed or scared that ODB was talking. Now we know why ODB was sacrificed. He tried to go against the system and awaken people up before it was time for people to be woken up. And Method Man sat over there with his head down, scared, like he didn't want to pick his head up and talk as a man. Y'all forget who raising these dudes. These dudes come from single parent households. They've been raised by their mamas, their big mamas, their aunties, and their grandmothers, and their sisters. That's who they've been raised by. And you expect manhood and toughness to ever come out of this generation because they can hold a gun and they can sell drugs and poison to our own people? It ain't take nothing to destroy each other.